Hello. You remember your driving lessons when you learned driving? How the instructor guided you to change your gears? When you started the car, you got to use the first gear. It was very tensed because you got to manage the car, you got to manage other accessories, you got to manage your clutch and the accelerator, and you were also a newbie. So all this put together, there was a lot of exertion. You had to exert quite a lot, right? But when the car started moving, you quickly put it into second gear. How did you feel? A little lighter. Things were rolling, started rolling as if of its own. And after a little while, when you were just on the end of the busy marketplace, put your gear on the third gear, and the car was rolling much smoother. And then what happened? Just about to enter the highway, you put your car in the fourth gear and the car automatically flows. And then the fifth, and then the sixth one if you have. And then you run your music. You enjoy the ride, holding the steering in one hand and enjoying the beauty of your drive. Do you reach the destination, or car automatically almost reaches you to the destination? Now this is a very important learning for us. When we start, we got to exert. But when we become an expert, everything happens of its own. So my today's topic is a transformation from the small x to capital X. Small x stands for exert. You burn yourself. You use your external energy. When you exert, what happens? You use your physical force. You perspire. You get strained. You get stressed. And you feel restless. You cannot manage everything. My God, how it is going to happen? Let me do a little more and a little more and put a little more pressure on yourself. So you get fatigued, you get tired, you almost feel like giving up. How long will you keep on putting your more and more and more? How long will you exert? Dr. David Hawkins has written a very beautiful book, Power versus Force. I recommend that you read that. This is a wonderful book. You know, when I read the book, lot of confusions were absolutely neutralized. In this Power versus Force, Dr. Hawkins aptly explains the difference between force and power. He says force is an external force, the physical force, the force from outside. And power is the internal force. We have our internal power, which we don't know. Most of the time, we have hidden energies, we have hidden power. So when we add our hidden power along with our external power, then the excellence comes. Then we become an expert. Now, when we are at the level of force, we operate in the lower level of our evolution, lower level of our consciousness. Because of using our force, and because we exert so much, we operate at the common level of blame, guilt, pain, sufferings, and all these states of our consciousness. And then there is a critical point, the gateway to the higher life. Moment we cross that critical point, and Dr. Hawkins calibrated it to 200, and he found shame to be the lowest level of consciousness, where the calibration is only 20. So between 20 to 200, we operate at the level of force. Moment we cross 200, that critical point, we ascend into the greener life, better life, higher life, beautiful things happens. That is called the level of excellence. And there we ascend into neutrality, we ascend into willingness, we ascend into joy, happiness, hope, and all these positivities. And finally, we reach the level of love, justice, and finally, peace. So this higher realm is above 200 and up to 1200. It's a long ascending journey. So Dr. Hawkins very wonderfully calibrated the various level of consciousness from 0 to 200, the level of force, and then beyond 200 up to 1200, it's the level of power. So the level of force is the state of exertion, and the level of power is when you become expert, when you attain expertise. So I was talking about a transformation from small x to capital X, from exertion to expertise. Now when we ascend into the higher level, our power is so much that one power can be equal to much more force. Dr. Hawkins has given a wonderful example. Before 1947, when we were under the imperialist force, the country was not free, then the British Empire had used their force to rule the countries of the world. And he has calibrated the power of the British Empire. Strangely, it was 175. So from 0 to 200, it was not in the level of expert, it was level of exert. So it was in the level of force, not power. So whole British Empire's energy was calibrated by Dr. David Hawkins, and he calibrated it at the level of 175. Now give me your attention. Dr. David Hawkins had calibrated the power of one man at the same time. His name is Mahatma Gandhi. The single man's power he calibrated and found it was 700. Think of it. The whole force put together was 175 and the power alone was 700. And that's why the whole thing was taken in control. The power of non-violence took the control of violence. Power of non-violence is power, and violence is force. So at the level of exert, we create competition, we rub shoulder, we create disharmony, we have conflict, we have unrest, nothing is steady, all the time we suffer from tensions, worries, anxieties, you name them. Those are the state of putting exert or exertion. When we ascend into the fourth gear, into the higher level, we enter into the zone of becoming expert, more and more, more and more, more and more. Being expert can also be called excellence, the level of excellence. Now in the 21st century, the world is changing. Just a few years ago, the whole world after the Second World War was calibrated, and we were at the level of force. The total power of the world was about 197. It's only a couple of years ago we have calibrated and crossed the critical point, and now we are in the realm of power, 204. Congratulations. So we are having a better time now, and things will be better from now. So power versus force. I have a lovely story to share with you now. Give me your attention. You would love it. This story is about a devotee who loved God and who prays and meditates every day. And he has a wonderful communion with God. And he is very happy, contented. All the time he says, God, you are everything. Everything happens in my life through you, because of you. And there is nothing which is impossible in my life as long as You are there with me, God. Who can be against me if you are with me, God? With that spirit, he was living his life. Now, one fine morning, a strange thing happens. He wakes up, he opens his door, and he sees a large, big chunk of stone lying just at the doorway. Oh my God, it is an obstruction. I have to remove that stone. He gets down and uses all his energy to move the stone. He struggles for 1 hour, 2 hours. Oh my God, the stone doesn't move. It is just solidly grounded there. He kept on trying for the whole day. And then he got frustrated, he got angry. And in the evening, he sat for prayers and told God angrily, God, I always believed in you. I always said you were there with me. Today I have given everything I had. That wretched stone could not be moved, God. My God, don't shake my faith. I have faith in you, God. Do something so that I can move the stone. Very tired. He sleeps. And in the sleep, God comes and says, you are not wrong, my son. You put in your best, and whatever you want will happen. Check up tomorrow morning once again. Put in your best. And then God vanishes. He wakes up. He gets ready. It was early morning. He comes out of the door, puts everything into that stone. Little more. Puts his best. My God, the stone doesn't move. It doesn't move at all. Now the fellow is absolutely shattered. In the evening he starts screaming, God, my faith is shattered in you. I was wrong. How can it be that I give my best and nothing happens? God, will I believe in you anymore? The stone didn't move. I have given everything. The stone did not move at all. When he slept, God came once again. And he said, dear, I once again tell you, if you give everything, and I repeat, everything you have, if you give everything you have, anything you want will happen. It is not wrong. It is not false. It is true. Next morning he wakes up. He remembers his dream. Something happens. He sits down for his prayers and closes his eyes. And he has a deep realization then. And then he discovers, oh, how silly I am. I only said from my mouth that you are everything in my life, but I have used my physical power. I used my mental power. I did not connect myself with you. You are my greatest power, God. You are my greatest resource, God. I have not used your power. Lord, you are everything in my life. Without you, I am nothing. Descend into my fingers, God. Descend into my fingers. His whole body started trembling. He was shaken with spiritual energy. He coolly walks out, and with the corner of his finger, he moves, and just like a small marble, that large vast stone starts rolling down into the abyss. The story ends here, but this is the real story of your life. If you are exerting too much, and if you really want to be EXPART, remember, your spiritual power is inside you. It's not in the temple, mosque, gurdwaras or church. God is right there within you. So when you use your God power, you have creativity, you have excellence, you have new energy. You transfer your force into power and you create excellence. So my today's topic is from small x to capital X, from exert to expert, from force to power, from your physical external power to your real power excellence, the power of God, the inner power. And when you connect these two powers, you become really powerful and you become an expert. All great people in their life, knowingly or unknowingly, discovered this hidden power and created excellence in the field of business, in the field of art, science, wherever they have gone. When we read them in the book of history, and we know what great work they have done in the form of Disneyland or the Brooklyn Bridge or the Taj Mahal or whatever, it comes through excellence. The human power connected with the spiritual power makes all the difference, because we are not human beings with spiritual power. We are actually spiritual beings having the human experience in this world. So use your spiritual power in every work you do and enjoy your excellence. Small x to capital X, from exert to expert. Thank you very much.